Hello world, and welcome to another episode of We love to talk about exciting subjects in science, medicine, robotics, astronomy, futuristic ideas, music, or anything interesting in the news. So let's get into it. Did you know in the news? Now, I don't know if you saw this, but a Georgia man was sentenced today to 27 years in prison for his role in a scheme to defraud Medicare by submitting over $463 million in genetic and other laboratory tests that patients did not need and that were procured through the payments of kickbacks and bribes. Now, according to the court documents, Manil Patel, if I said your name wrong, I apologize, 44 of Atlanta, on Lab Solutions LLC. Now, I believe I did a video of this in the past, which I did. You can check it out. A lab enrolled with Medicare that performed sophisticated genetic tests. Patel conspired with patient brokers, telemedicine companies, and call centers to target Medicare beneficiaries with telemarketing calls falsely stating that Medicare covered expensive cancer genetic tests. After the Medicare beneficiaries agreed to take the tests, Patel paid kickbacks and bribes to patient brokers to obtain signed doctor orders authorizing the tests from telemedicine companies. Now, to conceal the kickbacks and bribes, Patel required patient brokers to sign sham contracts. Remember that. He required them to sign sham contracts that falsely stated that the brokers were performing legitimate advertising services for Lab Solutions, when, as Patel well knew, that brokers were deceptively marketing to Medicare beneficiaries and paying kickbacks and bribes to telemedicine companies for generic testing prescriptions. Now, in one of the largest genetic testing fraud cases ever tried to verdict, today's sentence makes clear that the department will seek justice for those who put profits above patient care, including owners and executives. Now, this was stated by the acting Assistant Attorney General, Nicole M. Agratteri. I guess if I said your name wrong, I'll apologize. Of the Justice Department Criminal Division. The sentence also demonstrates that the Criminal Division ongoing commitment to fight telemedicine and genetic testing fraud that exploits patients and drains healthcare benefit programs. Now, if you never heard of this story, I'm going to play a clip, not even a clip, actually the news story explaining what they did. Let me know what you think about this. And have you experienced this, or do you see any family and relatives that are getting these outrageous charges from many of doctors that you can throw a rock out there and hit on the head, because there's doctors everywhere. Just Google them. So let me know what you think. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon, but check this video out.
We've been working on this story for months. It involves an Atlanta lab accused of illegally charging vulnerable patients for genetic tests, and a local patient who questions whether her doctor was a part of the fraud.
This is Lab Solutions, an Atlanta-based center for blood and DNA testing. Our attempts to get to this man, the lab owner named Manil Patel, failed.
Do you manage anything here?
Do not. I just work here.
You just work here?
Come on, guys. I just work here.
When do you guys leave?
It happened months after we started our investigation into a local patient's complaint about the lab's expensive DNA testing.
I don't know what they're doing, but what they're doing is not legal and is not right.
Let's rewind to June when Alethea Brown called Clark Howard's Consumer Action Center about a huge medical claim no one would explain to her.
You're not gonna explain nothing. You're not gonna tell me about it. And we talking about money.
Leave me alone.
Brown was a patient of East Point psychiatrist Dr. Eddie Beal. Days after she went in for a prescription refill, she found this explanation of benefits online. Her insurance company warning her a portion of a genetic test would cost her nearly $11,000.
Damn!
Local doctors told us that's 2 to 3 times more expensive than it should be.
That's surprising to me, $10,000.
We reviewed a copy of the consent form for the test through Brown's insurance records.
It's obvious a 3-year-old can see that it's wrong.
Brown's name is spelled wrong. A signed signature on file serves as the consent. It looks just like the handwriting used to sign for the doctor. Bill's office staff originally wrote off Brown's complaint, saying the test was explained to her.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Hopefully you understand that mental health patients sometimes misreport information to gain an audience.
Damn! I think it's disrespectful.
Bill's office went on to blame the signature on a Lab Solutions tech. Lab Solutions says Bill's office filled out the form.
This brings alarm to me. It says signature on file. That shouldn't be. A patient should sign each and every time they are getting lab testing done.
Don't blame me for your crimes, Mom.
This is Cheryl Thompson, a now former Lab Solutions scientist. We brought Thompson in to review Brown's paperwork and to tell us more about August 16th, the day the FBI raided the lab.
Many people burst through the doors and told us to put our hands up.
She lost her job soon after.
No explanation, no anything.
Weeks later, this federal indictment accusing Patel of using telephonic doctors to order unnecessary tests on vulnerable patients.
What do you think's going on here?
I think it's full of crap. I think I'm being used and abused, and I think this is against the Bill of Rights, the patient's Bill of Rights.
We're concerned just like you.
When we couldn't reach Dr. Beal directly about the Lab Solutions order for Alethea Brown, we headed into his office.
What's your position?
Come on, guys, I just work here.
Just his daughter. Just his daughter. Office manager, spokesperson, just speaking on his
came
behalf.
out and saw the news here, and I'm like, why are y'all here? I know my daddy didn't get any kickback from this.
Wrap that shit up, B.
She said they'd audit to see whether Lab Solutions techs signed other patients without their consent, but stood by their claim that Brown knew what the test was for.
Have the feds ask you guys any questions about the test, the particular test?
Not yet, and I hope they don't.
A couple of important notes here. Our story has launched a state insurance fraud investigation into what happened at Dr. Beal's office. Brown is no longer responsible for her bill. Lab Solutions dropped their claim against her as we began to wrap this story, and they were ordered by the feds to shut down. Even in their letter dismissing her debt, they got the dates wrong on when they say she consented to the test.